Hey, Good Fox here with Mut Men episode number 46 with Texas Boy. How are you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good.
Good. And our special guest star is Mattstergamer, aka Matt. How are you, good sir?
I am good.
That is good to hear. So, Matt has been on the pod before. Number 2 for you. How does it feel being a veteran?
Man, it's nice. Rookie year, it's kind of nerve-wracking.
We didn't have to haze you this time?
Exactly, But now, you get here, you got the confidence going, haircut.
Nice. Got to keep those sideburns short if you want to play in the squad.
Exactly.
You speak good.
The viewers of the podcast couldn't see the long hair.
But they could hear it, though.
Exactly, so I couldn't risk that again.
Yeah. So, okay, first topic. Maybe I'll just run down the agenda.
Real quick. Before you get to the first topic, I'm looking at Skype, and apparently your birthday was last Wednesday.
Whose?
Yours.
Oh, that's a fake birthday I put. I'm sure. Did I also put I was born in 1900?
I knew it.
It don't go that deep. I just wanted to give you a happy belated birthday, but apparently it was your birthday, so I'm gonna take that back.
Yeah, you would have thought.
Everything I put on the internet is fake.
Okay.
I'm not actually a person either. I'm a fox, you know that.
I got you.
Hey, so we're gonna run down Michael Vick and his effect on the game, the tournament and all the related drama and whatnot with that, and competitive Madden, and that's Mattster's main focus as a competitive Madden player. Madden patches, people not like pirate patches, but you guys know what I'm talking about.
Wait, what?
Draft champions,
Not pirate
like
patches?
the patches that pirates wear.
No, I thought those were the ones we were talking about.
Oh shoot, false advertising then for you. Sorry, man. I tricked you.
I'm completely unprepared.
Sorry. So the TV ratings on the NFL Network of the championship, team play, Super Bowl, and some other shenanigans mixed in there. All right, first off, Michael Vick, salary cap 1 million points. Texas, what's your thought on Vick and his effect on the game? Do you like the way they did it?
I do like the way when he dropped Vick this week, especially because he announced his retirement, so they had to put something out in the game. Otherwise, they had to pay this dude a bunch of money out of pocket to get him in the game. But I do like how they dropped him. The sets I really enjoyed. No collectibles, just a bunch of players, and that is fantastic. Obviously, you got ones going for more than others, but I do like how they did that. And the salary cap being as high as it is, it's going to go down, obviously, once they get back to the offices from their mini vacation, but I do like how they ended up dropping Vick over in the game. You got 2 of them, gunslinger chemistry, and then 1 set legend without the chemistry, but with other chems that can get him up to 99 or get him other attributes up to the elite tier. So I do like how they released this Michael Vick.
Yeah. What about you, Master?
I love Gunslinger. I've been waiting for Vick for Gunslinger alone for ever since, like a week after Favre came out. I wanted to know the Gunslinger.
You didn't like Favre.
It's not that I don't like Favre, because I considered Favre the GOAT forever. And then another Gunslinger quarterback came out, and now Vick's the GOAT. Like, I wanted him for the Gunslinger alone forever. Like, the speed aside, I wanted him for the Gunslinger. The speed's just nice.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that Favre you thought was the GOAT, because I thought he played like trash for me, and a lot of people say that. You never had any trouble with him throwing into the back of linemen or missing players frequently?
No, not really. I mean, he wasn't the perfect accuracy-wise, but throwing the back alignment, not really.
Really? I lost a game on it, and a lot of people other reported the same issue. So, interesting. You really liked Favre, and we had wildly different experiences with the card, but it's kind of cool that happened like that, because he's been universally, from what I've seen, derided for how bad he's been. Texas, did you have any experience with Favre?
No, I never use them. I typically don't use high-powered high expensive quarterbacks over here in this game. I think the most expensive quarterback I played with was the Colin Kaepernick at the time, like 600,000 coins, what his price was. But I typically was doing fine with the Aaron Rodgers, so I don't really spend any coins or test out those particular players.
Yeah, the Aaron Rodgers. I mean, just such a sweet, good budget card. But why'd you go for Kaepernick then?
Speed. Once they patched the quarterback scramble glitch, because I was reason I was using Aaron Rodgers to begin with was because you couldn't roll out the pocket with your quarterback. And so you kind of had to be a pocket passer. Otherwise, you would do that stutter step, get sacked, fumble the ball, lose the game. So I had to change my play style up. And then when they fixed it, and then they dropped a Terrell Pryor, who I ended up picking up, and then sold him back after I didn't really like his accuracy down the field. I was like, I want a scrambling quarterback, and Cap came out perfectly at the right time. And a subscriber was like, take him from me. All right, cool. Appreciate you, man.
Nice.
So that's the reason why I have him. That's the reason why I'm going to be keeping him until I get that Michael Vick in my hands, which is going to be sometime soon because he's going to be out of packs, but by this upcoming Saturday.
Wait, he's still in packs this entire week?
Yeah, his pieces are.
Well, his pieces are. You can still pull the set legend. Like you pull the set legend out of packs, but you cannot pull the pieces after Saturday.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense. I thought the entire Vick was still in the card in packs or secondary.
Well, the set legend is. So yeah, 98 overall. But
not the
so you can still pull that one. Not the Gunslinger one now.
Okay. That makes more sense.
How come you didn't want a
Gunslinger? It's weird that
Gunslinger?
they're pulling a legend out of the game after 1 week.
Well, I don't. He could stay because Calvin Johnson was in the game last year.
The Youngblood.
Yeah, Youngblood. I don't know what's going on with that. I wonder if trying to just keep him extremely rare. So if you guys trying to get Michael Vick, man, you got probably a couple of days. They may drop a bundle, which kind of makes his cards a little bit more easy to be gotten, but after Saturday, it's going to be kind of tough to get your hands on one.
You know, maybe, do you think Mike Vick signed a contract with EA? I know I saw a headline that he's thinking, he's getting cold feet in retirement, thinking about coming back if anybody will take him. But, I don't know. Do you think he loves his 04 Vick persona. Do you think he already signed a contract with EA and EA is just making like a business decision, kind of like that limited time they do a lot to make us buy a bunch of packs before Saturday?
I mean,
Oh, go ahead, Matt.
You go ahead, Matt.
I was thinking he's probably going to resign. He'd probably end up signing because that 04 Vick thing is... He's gonna keep riding it.
But these people they're cheap though. Like we get the crappy legend. We don't really get anybody too crazy. It took a while for us to get the Calvin Johnsons and the Bo Jacksons. Like they just pretty much go with the same guys that cost like $10,000. Like they usually don't pay that much for these guys. They generate them a bunch of money. So hopefully Michael Vick did got a lucrative deal out of it because they make so much money off of his name.
Hey, so why is 2K so good at getting old legends, and Madden seems like we get like a couple dozen every year? Texas, if you've played 2K, what
I think 2K is a little bit different with the Players Association, the Players Union. They probably have like rights where it's like, so for example, when Calvin Johnson retired, he's no longer part of the NFL, no longer part of the Players Union, which probably gets a check from the Madden sales, and then that's why he's not in the game anymore until they get his rights individually. So that's my guess. I think the 2K has a deal in place with the Players Association, and that's how they have the access to all the legends dating back to like 1900s. Whereas in Madden, they don't have that right now.
So you think it's like a player association, like the NBA player association?
Yeah, I think 2K gives them a lump sum of money. And they probably give them a percentage of the sales off of packs and stuff like that, and they get all the access to that. Whereas Madden, right now, the NFL union is not as good as the NBA union. So that's my guess on it, at least.
Yeah,
it's
definitely think
something like that.
Yeah, the NFL union's probably one of the weaker unions in sports, right? I would put like baseball as the number one.
Baseball is the best. They don't test their players for cocaine in baseball. They test the coaches and the staff, but they don't test the players for cocaine in baseball.
Yeah, how do you think Darryl Strawberry had a good career?
It's crazy. And he had a vial in the back pocket, dog. Vial in the back pocket. He slid on the front. Didn't want to break it. It's great.
Although Darryl did wash out a little bit. Wait, what was that, Texas? Sorry, I missed that.
You heard that story? I think it might have been Darryl Strawberry. He said that he slid on his stomach because he had a vial of cocaine in his back pocket, so he didn't want to break it.
I think that was, that was great. But yeah, baseball is one of those great sports you can play high on drugs, like throw a no-hitter and LSD, like, was it Doc, shoot. I should know this as a pirate. I don't remember his name now.
There's the patches.
Anyways, what's that?
There are the patches.
Yeah, patches. So, I don't get this. What's the point of sets? And the sets, Texas, you mentioned the sets and having the players. What's the point of sets when all the value's in one card? Like, these legend sets, like, 90% of the values in one card. And, like, the other cards will have some, I know that one of the Vicks is 500K, but the other one's, like, 1.22. But why, like, I don't know. It feels...
It's funny, too, because, like, EA, I remember Guru said this, they don't control the prices, but they control the odds. And so when they make one card more rare than the other one, it kind of messes up how the set's supposed to go.
Yeah.
So the 92 is more rare than 90, which is less rare than the 88, which is 500,000 coins because you need two of them. Like that's kind of crazy right now. But at least it's not how the other sets were, which just made no sense. There's just one player being 500,000 coins for the old legend sets, and everything else is like 20K.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Matt?
I mean that spreads out the value too, though, because like if you can have like multiple cards that are worth something, it naturally increases pack odds. So you could pull like the cheapest Vick and still make like 200K.
Yeah, the cheapest elite K.
Yeah.
Like, so I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just a weird argument, but it does feel weird. Like with these sets when all that matters is the one card out of it for these legends. And you're right with spreading the odds out. Like if but then like they each have to be the same drop rate. So
no, I mean not necessarily. Like
similar.
All of them have value. Like even the gold Vick, I think has value. Let me
it's about
check
40K.
actually.
Yeah, it's like 50,000 for the chem version, 20K for the non.
Yeah, which isn't bad. And like, so for the full set legend, it's not worth it to do like the set sometimes. But like because there's more value in packs, it's like their natural way of increasing pack odds without changing the rates at all. I think.
You get 5
Yeah, no,
cards
but
and packs.
what I'm trying to say is that most of that value is tied into the one card, not just the Vick set, but all the other legends.
Oh yeah, I mean, but there's still value in a lot of them. Like, there's not great value, but I know what you're saying. Like most of them are like top heavy.
Yeah, like there's like.
But like
the
even in
gold will be like
the
1K.
base legends, you still go.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think
guys-
I pulled an AP last week. It was like 40K. It was a gold AP.
Oh wow, that's a pretty good pull.
Yeah.
So I mean that must have been right when he came out then, huh?
Oh, I still have them. What the heck? No, it was like 2 days ago when I was pulling for Vick actually.
And the gold AP was 40K.
Yeah, I was surprised.
Huh. Well, anyways, do you think they're gonna put another set in the game that has like 100 legend collectibles or players or something to trade in for a legend player like they did last year?
That'd be cool.
Texas. Yeah, Matt, Texas.
I doubt it. I mean, a lot of sets we over here from last year we haven't seen right now. Like they can still drop them, they can still come out with them and surprise us. But like for example, last year we had those. I did a throwback video with Vick like yesterday, and they had the Wheel of Packs, where you could exchange 2 elite badges, 2 gold, 2 silver, 2 bronze for a random pack, range from a pro pack to an X Factor pack. We haven't got that over here in this game yet, so they seem to be kind of just trying some different things right now as opposed to giving us the same stuff. So I doubt we'll probably see more stuff like that, but
That's a good
I don't
point.
know. It's kind of weird how they're doing their structure this year as opposed to like I think Madden 15 and 16 was kind of the same game. This year seems to be going in a different direction.
I mean, that's a really good point. I've touched on this a lot, and you just kind of put it together. Like, they've thrown us investors so many curveballs this year. It was like 15, 16, we could kind of anticipate what was coming and invest into certain things and made a ton of money investing in last year. But it's because, you're right, EA is trying new things, and we're like, what the hell is this? I guess that's kind of cool, but I can't make money off that now, so good.
Yeah, like the 74s last year, everybody was preparing for the position heroes. And then they dropped the position heroes, and I had like 274s in my binder. And they had no value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, the funny thing about it was they kind of like shot themselves in their foot because, and us as well, because I think the first CB set had like a Philip Gaines in it. It was like 200K for a gold, and then after that, we messed up. It's just random wild cards now.
Yeah.
I was like, no, you guys screwed it over.
I was preparing all year because my first year was Madden 25 or Madden 15, and like those position heroes came out, and I had 2 of like the left guards or the right guards for the Falcons. I made like 400K off that. I was like, okay, next year I'm gonna be stacked. Nope.
Yeah, it was funny. I remember that very well, Texas, where the Twitter reaction. What happened was the first legends came out, and I think there were a lot of wild cards, and the 74 overalls weren't in the set. So a lot of people bitched and complained on Twitter to the EA guys that the 74s aren't in the set. And then the next week, the EA put the 74s in the set, and that just caused a shitstorm. More people complaining, bitching because of how rare they were. And then the next week after that, we got our standard. And I think everybody's fine with wild cards now.
Yeah, I'm cool with wild cards. I just kind of wish they would add more value. Because what's the point of giving us 74 overall gold cards if they don't have no value other than just being an extra gold card in your pack?
Yeah, because they're really
I don't
just
get that.
like they're real rare too. They're still rare.
Yeah, they're real rare. And fullbacks are rare as hell too. So are punters and so are kickers. Like I just don't see the value in these particular cards unless they're going to be a set for them in the future. And that's what I was banking on positional sets doing. But last year they kind of didn't do that. And this year I'm pretty sure it's just going to be wild cards unless they decide to do something like the gold monster set with the Casey Hayward. You got to collect certain 74 to 72 overall golds for something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I could see them doing the position heroes exactly like the Gold Master, but yeah, that'd be so hard to predict. But which gold cards to get? That's not a bad point. I'm trying to think about how to make the best money. I think what I'm gonna do is just wait for the first set to come out and then start investing based on what we know on that, instead of trying to guess with like almost no knowledge on how they're gonna do it. All right, so
yeah, last year
the tournament
dropped on the 16th of February, so we should probably be getting them pretty soon.
Yeah, like this Sunday.
Yeah, this Sunday be or sometime probably next week because we got this thing I dropped in the chat. Ultimate Legends came out on February 13th, Positionals on the 16th, Foundation on the 18th, and Campus Heroes on the 19th.
Yeah, Position Heroes came out like the day after Ultimate Legends last year. Or was it the Monday after the Saturday?
Because I remember in 15 it was on Wednesdays.
Oh, yeah. They changed the days up year to year.
Yeah, it was Sunday last year. It came out on Sundays. Yeah. Last year, so. Okay. Yeah, cool. So we should probably be getting a lot more content coming up the next couple weeks, guys, which is pretty exciting because I kind of like more stuff there in packs to pull for.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about the tournament and the competitive play. So it ended up going down. NFL Network, W ended up beating Problem, and I want to talk about. Let's talk about the game and the meta first and what we saw. So, Mattster, this is kind of your specialty. Like, knowing the plays, knowing what top-end competitors run. Basically, how do you see the meta evolving from the tournament? So tell us like what plays that you've seen run more than others lately.
I mean, in general, defensively, it's going to be dollar. It's going to be dollar crossman at a DB strike 2. It's going to be spinner. That's pretty much what you saw for the most part in the tournament. There's a few cover 3 blitzes that you saw like Mo run. But for the most part, it's just crossman and a dollar, and then nickel blitz are the two like primary defenses. What you saw actually, what?
I got a question about that dollar before we move on. How do you run the spinner?
Some people like it. It depends. It's pretty easy to run. All you got to do is use one of the linebackers and not blitz them, and you can pretty much like do whatever you want with your team. I mean, a lot of people like to just keep the linemen out and just baseline press, and when both corners come in for easier. But for the most part, it's. And then, like, another variation is you could bring both safeties in the box so they're better, like, for man coverage. But, I mean, it's really just to throw in. I feel like people get too predictable with it, so it's easy to read. But,
And they baseline it?
Yeah, they baseline press. So it's the same look. That's what makes it good, is that it's the same look as the normal defense, and then it just screams.
Isn't that dangerous with you base aligned? Because you're not going to get a jam on the wide receiver then?
Yeah, it is.
So they can get a one-play touchdown off it if they can recognize it.
Generally, they're shading outside, so they don't get pressed.
But wait, say that again.
So when you shade outside in man coverage, they don't actually press. They just run with the receiver.
Huh.
That's good to know.
But doesn't base aligning like misman them? Like so.
Well, I mean,
receiver's gonna have a better release off that.
It depends. Like, it depends on the formation, obviously. Like, if you're in snugs, baselining is not going to press anybody. But if you come out in, like, a gun ace, like Problem was a lot, then they will get pressed.
Huh. I saw gun ace. I saw a video from Zan on it today that he's running out of gun ace now, and he's doing really well with the inside zone against that dollar. Yeah,
well, that's why Problem came into the tournament with it, is because it's so effective against the meta. I forgot who I was watching the game with. But we were talking about how he came out in gun ace, and it's a perfect counter to the dollar crossman meta because you have the 2 edge setters on the edge, obviously. So when the corners try to come in, they can't. They don't have any room to get past the tight ends. So you could take any angle you want, and that makes dollar a bad run defense again.
Huh. I love that. The meta's evolving, based on what you knew people were going to do.
Yeah, exactly. So, it was a purely meta pick.
Yeah. Was a step ahead of the game. Like, because all right, have you noticed a difference between inside zones between the ones with the running back like is kind of like on the artwork behind the quarterback and like next to him?
The offset inside zones react a little differently than the normal inside zones. The offset ones get a different handoff. The blocking feels a little different. I can't really like quantify it, but I know the blocking is a little different from what I've seen, and it feels like you can cut a little faster with the offset ones, so you can make sharper cutback lanes.
The offset ones are the ones where you're behind the quarterback?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's why those seem better. Yeah. So, like, I'm messing with 49ers playbook actually right now, which sounds insane, but that's part of the reason why. And there's a few really good inside zones out there, and that's actually why, because they're in offset formations.
It's amazing that inside zone's back in 16.
Yeah.
We left it for dead at the beginning of the game.
Oh, no, I never dropped. The thing that nerfed inside zones from last year was adding the cutback defender.
Yeah.
But they didn't hurt like the blocking on it at all. They didn't change all that. They just added the cutback defender, so you couldn't have this stupid cutbacks where you go just the running is supposed to go to the left, and you just decide, we're going for an 80-yard touchdown on the right.
That was insane. But yeah, because like the running backs can't cut as well this year too. I noticed right off taking the handoff.
Yeah.
Like you say, yeah.
Yeah, with the combination of those things, it's just not OP, but
still decent.
It's still good. Yeah, it's still very good.
How do you deal with? Do you run? What's your line overall across your line and salary cap?
I have 2 silver DNs.
Wait, say that again.
I have 2 silver DNs for 12 cap.
No, I mean offensive line.
Oh, offensive line. I mean, I'm one of the few that run elite lines, but
Okay.
I can run the ball 30 times a game, and I can pass the ball 30 times. Like I have a very differentiated attack, where I can go both ways. But I need the running game to hold up if I do want to run. Like if I'm allowed to run all over somebody because they're letting me, I will. But I need the the run block to hold up for me, so I can do that.
So you focus on run block lineman.
Yes, and then speed of the guards.
Speed of the guards.
Yeah, for the pulling. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Texas, you want to say something?
No, I'm just so y'all talk about the inside zone. How come we're seeing like an emergence of halfback base as well? Because I'm seeing a lot of people. I played this entire week trying to grind for the Laura Malloy, and a lot of people that beat me were running the halfback base.
It depends. Like a lot of bunches. I mean, bunch is a very popular formation. So you come out in bunch, and that has a halfback base, and that's a good base because you're running with like 3 blockers and then the pulling guard.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a very solid run. It's a very consistent run. That's kind of what's strong about it. You're not gonna get blown up a lot with the pulling guard there. You have to shoot the gap from like behind if you're trying to force a loss.
Yeah,
so
that's how you stop. That's how you got to stop it in real life as well. You go to the hole with the guard left, tackle the halfback in the backfield.
Yeah.
But it seemed like a lot of these dudes are just running this and getting 7-8 yards a carry. There's huge holes on the right. I got a good defense, and I just couldn't seem to figure out how to stop that without using that line. We went through the line, and sometimes you can get there. Sometimes you just get tripped up by your own other defender, and just a huge run to the other side of the field.
The general way you could stop it is just a cover 4 variant. You can just shove your entire team to the side. You know they're running to, and that'll generally stop most runs in general.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can't they cut back on you pretty good or not?
I mean, they can, but it's a base, so like they just need to get kind of lucky if they're trying to cut back on a base.
That's true because they left a guy there.
Yeah.
Going. All right, that's cool. So what pass plays you see basically coming out of the tournament?
A whole lot of Saints playbook. That was like I think 11 out of the 16 are running Saints or something stupid like that.
Let me give you my reaction to that. I'm so pissed. So I was running Saints a lot earlier this year, and I was gonna create my ebook on it, but then for some reason I just got lazy and switched and didn't do it. No reason I didn't do it, and then I switched over to the pass balance, and now I'm back to Browns. I should have made the damn video because after everybody's looking that damn tournament, they'd be asking for a Saints ebook right now. Damn it! All right, go on. So why the Saints?
Saints has tight offset tight end, which I consider the best formation in the game. It's what I run out of LA. It has doubles weak, which is the glitchiest formation in the game right now with the corner strike. It has pistol bunch tight end, which isn't great, but it's just another bunch. It doesn't have bunch, which is why I don't run Saints. I really like having bunch in my arsenal in Rams, and I think it is the best bunch in the game. And then Saints...
Rams is the best bunch? No.
Yeah.
No way. Packers, New England are better bunches.
Rams. The only thing Rams is missing is base.
Yeah, which is like the main run. Draw.
I mean, I would just draw. If I see you're giving me the run, I'll just draw you and get 20 yards.
Okay. Well, wait. I thought Rams is missing one other play. I thought that was really good. They have the PA post. They don't have. What's that?
To my knowledge, they have everything +1. They have I forgot the name of the play. It's essentially the play with the drag. It's the trail play. It's Rams trail, I think it is, and it has a cover 2 beater on the left side. But most variations of that play it's just a streak. So yeah.
Did you motion a guy over on that one?
Yes. I use motion on most plays. I motion really weird. I don't motion like the way most people well, I shouldn't say I don't use that motion because I use that motion a lot too. But I use pretty much every motion in the bunch, not just the outside circle receiver, B receiver on Xbox.
Uh-huh. Interesting. So I think that bunch is that good. I thought that bunch was worse than like another there's a really good bunch play in the Packers that it's missing. But anyways, it doesn't matter. So the only reason I think the Rams and the Saints they're very close, and I've used them both very extensively. I think their snugs or their tight offset
the
tight
tight
end,
offset is almost identical. They're the only two playbooks that have that formation too.
Yeah, it's similar to Arizona's though, but Arizona has that deep corner.
Arizona has snugs, which isn't the same formation.
Yeah, but it's very similar plays coming out of snugs, but it's also got that deep angle, cover 2 beater that we just talked about.
Yeah, the issue with snugs is it's a 4 wide receiver set, so the audibles are worse. You generally can't run out of it at all, and I really like to run at a tight offset.
Yeah, there's only one to run on a tight offset tight end. There's only the inside zone.
Oh, but it's a very good run.
Yeah, but the inside zone's the same out of the snugs.
No, I don't think it is.
Well, let me look it up.
Yeah, I can check. I'm in playbooks while I was looking for the Packers bunch. But I don't like this. The cover 2 beater out of Cardinals, I don't love. I think it's really easy to auto throw that route and just get picked. Oh, there's a sweep out of Cardinals. Snugs.
Oh, sweep. Yeah,
that's
a sweep.
Yeah, which is not as good. But like, I've noticed a lot of players, if they come out in Cardinals snugs, they only like. I don't know if it's just me, but they don't. There's nobody open. I have it boxed. They throw into coverage and then complete it. But
all right, the play we're talking about is the PA zone across. There's also a Steelers cross. You see in the Steelers book, the same formation as Snugs.
With the
how do you defend it?
So what I like to do is I like to straight man the B receiver, so that way he can still technically win, but I have Dion in that spot, so
okay,
I kind of controls that.
So you play a straight up man to man?
No, well, I mean, like, my coverage looks like it reacts similar to straight man, but it's out of cover 2. So it's a combination of cross manning and straight manning, but to stop that route, I come out in cover 2 and essentially just straight man that route with Dion, and he covers it.
Texas, I put the play in the chat if you want to take a look at which one we're talking about if you didn't know.
It sounds
maybe I can put it up. So Texas, sorry
for...
No, you're good. No. I like learning about this. Like, even though I have no idea what's going on, just probably how I sound or how I sound when I talk about chemistry. But yeah. Okay, so yeah, that deep corner. Yeah. So okay.
Yeah, Packers bunch is the same, by the way. It just has the base.
Yeah.
Same audibles too. Side base, obviously.
So it has the base.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to
the way to stop this corner, right, is just to use it because you can't play man or zone on it.
No,
you can play man.
Wait, that curl flat that's in the
it is.
The Rams bunch?
Yep.
Huh.
Yep. Yeah, it's in there.
I thought that one wasn't in the Rams. Let me take a look.
Also in the Broncos playbook too, and also the Jets and Steelers. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I don't love zone of snugs. Also, is really limiting. The tight offset has some speed outs and speed ins that you could take advantage of. There's not as many posts, if any posts, in Zona. There's some corners that you can motion over, but that wastes some motion. If I just want to post in the field, I have to motion over to get it. Then I can't block a running back, and it limits you. Whereas I feel like you can block a running back and not utilize motion and still very good offense in tight offset.
Huh. Yeah, I use the Rams and Saints a lot, like I said, and neither one of them, they were good, but it felt like everybody knew what was coming out of it. And so with the snugs in Arizona, it's kind of taken over the meta. So I think people have started to learn, like, when I first got hit with that Arizona snugs, I'm like, what the hell are they doing to me? Like, they've got bench, they've got mesh, they've got that deep corner, just tore me a new one until I figured out, I'm just going to man my corner up on that deep corner, and then we'll have a good play. But I think maybe now, because I've played against a lot more, it's not as effective as it was originally against me. But I don't know. I don't think I'm going to switch back to Rams, but
yeah, it'd be one thing if the speed out was still as good as it was like last year.
Oh yeah,
because they have a speed out. But like, even then, cover 2 is the meta right now, so like, it's not going to do much. I'm looking at this formation. There's not as much as I can do that I can do at a tight offset, and you do have the zone of C spot, which is the same as Saints corner or whatever it's called at a Saints. I know a spot corner is what it's called out of Rams, but that's kind of been the go-to play for a lot of people that was in the Orlando tournament. They really like having that C route on the field from the snugs look. It's hard to stop because, again, it's a man beater, zone beater kind of thing. But
you're talking about the Saints playbook here?
Yeah, it's in most snugs. It's the one with the C route on the one side and the corner route on the other side. And that was really the go-to for a lot of people that were in Saints.
Oh, yeah.
When they come out in tight offset, what I saw a lot of is inside zone, Saint spot. And, I mean, it really, from what I see, it gets really repetitive. I don't think it's that hard to stop, personally. And I know there's a lot of variations you could run and different adjustments you can make. People liked it a little too much. People looked too comfortable in it. And
I don't know. okay, so these are the top end competitors. I run the Saints spot and and I get freaking shut down on the ladder. Like, people know exactly what I'm doing. Like, how I just don't get it. Maybe they're better at executing their offenses, but like, I'm running the same shit. And I'm like, oh, who the fuck's open? I throw to that route, Elliott pick. I throw, the user will cover the C route. They'll man up. I don't know. I guess you can man up anybody, but I don't know. It seems weird that how effective it was, because it wasn't as effective for me. But I'm not saying I'm as good as those players though. So how was it so effective on offense for them when it's not effective on online ladder?
Well, you have to factor in the meta too. So the meta defense again right now is, or at least at the tournament, was a lot of dollar crossman and nickel blitz.
Oh.
Nickel blitz is very effective at picking up because you don't need any motion on that play. So what you can pick up running nickel blitz with the running back. So from that point on, you're able to attack
Which play
cover
are you talking
two.
about?
The Saint spot.
Wait, that picks up nickel blitz without a motion?
No, well you not a receiver motion. Sorry. You can put the running back on the line and handle it for the most part.
Oh, okay.
But
So motion the running back over to the left.
So
to
if
get off the line
you're
of scrimmage.
good at the game and you send a nickel blitz, it should come untouched. Because I was running into that all this weekend and I didn't block a halfback at all. My lineman kept picking it up. I guess because the guy wasn't running it properly. So if you run it properly, you have to block a halfback.
Recently it's been really easy for me to pick up. I don't know why, but for the most part it's not fun to pick up. It's very kind of random in a sense where like there's very few ways you can pick it up. Another way you saw a lot of people trying to pick it up was using the Saint spot again and moving in that square receiver in a step, or the X receiver on Xbox, and then he would get the turn into a pass blocker at that point, and he would pick up the edge heat.
Yeah, I've had to use that before. It's effective, it works, but it's not
It takes
beautiful
away
if you lose a
receiver.
route. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
But the thing
I
is,
really-
they have the table route at that point, so they're giving up. They want to keep the running back route rather than the receiver route at that point.
Oh yeah.
And they'll generally
That's
put
a
like
good
a
point.
drag on the field so the zone doesn't pick up on the C route, and then that's how they kind of counteract that.
So did they put
And
the
then they
zone
have a
on the
high-low on
far
both
right
sides.
receiver? Yeah.
It depends. Like again, you could run nickel blitz setting 5. You could run nickel blitz setting 3. It just depends on how consistent you want to come in. If you want to stop the run game a little better, and then adjustments out of there vary a ton. So like, some people shift their linebackers. Some people send the A gap. Some people send the B gap. There's a lot of different ways you could run nickel blitz. But again,
Yeah.
if you could pick up the blitz, it's for the fact one dude's going to be in a spy. For the most part, he could be in a deep blue, and another dude's more than likely going to be manned up or in a hard flat. So at that point, if you could just take away if you could just attack the deep sidelines the same way you generally want to attack a cover 2 in general, you should be able to have success. Or just most cover 2 beaters will beat nickel blitz the same way, like out of tray and stuff where you hit the streaks.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I get what you're saying. The deep sidelines where you got to go against cover 2. It's just tough to get there. Some of the zones play them so much better, and it takes a while to get there for a lot of receivers. That's why you need. Who are your receivers?
My receivers right now are the Team of the Year Tyreek Hill. He's kind of my burner. I could use him to beat pretty much
Speed,
everybody.
yeah.
Yeah, I like him because crossing routes are losing to crossman this year. I need that one dude who's just going to outrun everybody that's not named Dion.
Gotcha.
And then I have, who do I have? I have the Team of the Year Jordy Nelson. He's my 96 route runner. And I had the Mike Evans, and I switched to, who did I switch to? The flashback to Marius Thomas, just because he could,
Speed and run block.
yeah, pretty much. He's
Yeah.
always been good. Like I've never had issues with Demaryius Thomas cards. I get his flashback item every single year because there always has one, and he's just good. Like regardless of what stats he has or doesn't, he just holds on to the rock.
It's a big dude.
Yeah,
Easier to hold on to when you're taking a hit.
but like Mike Evans just wasn't. He didn't do it.
He drops a lot of passes. I don't know if it's like the traits or if it's just randomness. But yeah, Mike Evans, 85, the Ultimate Seasons one, going to the 88 to the what would you call it? The Blitz
Same
event
here.
one.
Oh, yeah.
Just drops so many damn open balls. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I was having that same issue with Team of the Year.
Yeah, well, that's so interesting. You got different receivers for different things you want to do on offense. So you don't like. All right, so why are so many people putting Deion Sanders at 3 for that nickel blitz? Isn't he going to be terrible against the run?
I mean, yeah, he tackles surprisingly well. But, I mean, the thing about it is he screams. Like,
He's so
96
fast.
speed is the truth. He comes in, you got to just
Sorry.
get on the move. Like,
Go on, Tex.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't block it, you're either sacked or you started running right as you snapped the ball.
Or you just have Cam Newton who's going to shake him.
Yeah, I mean, Vick is pretty good at that too, but and this Vick card is ridiculous. I don't know if you guys have used him yet, but man, he's just insane. Oh, you did too?
Yeah, I pulled him.
Nice.
Yeah.
Just 2 people here pulled Vick?
Yep.
Yeah.
Y'all some assholes, man.
Dude,
I haven't pulled a limited. In 3 years, and then I ripped Vick. I freaked out.
The last limited I pulled, Michael Vick, was Madden 25.
Oh wow. So you got to get good here, huh?
Yeah, I'm gonna go pull packs right now.
Nice. Do it. Waste all your coins.
No, I'm just gonna go buy them actually before I do that.
Yeah, before it gets out of. All right. So with the tournament, after the tournament, we discovered after W won, some certain things came out about him on Twitter. Some racists. He dropped the N-word a lot. In Texas, we talked about this a little bit last week with Skimbo, and I saw the conversation on Twitter you had with somebody who said, because last week you said Skimbo wasn't racist the way he said the N-word. Can you elaborate on that, and then what you think about this situation with W?
All right, so I don't think it's fair to basically paint everybody as a race just for using the word nigger, essentially. I'm going to go ahead and say that probably one only time, but I don't like just blasting people, because usually when you try to cry racism and somebody doesn't use that word, say, oh, well, he didn't say this or he didn't say that, but they just ignore the racist stuff that was said previous to that. But just using that word does not let alone make you an evil person. But with W and not Skimbo, I probably could type in Skimbo. He deleted his account, so I can't actually go back and check. With W was other words that were surrounding with his use of the N-word that basically kind of painted a picture of who this guy possibly might be. And so the using of the coon word, which is another slur for black people, and also using the word lynch paired with coon and the N-word kind of shows you some things that you probably didn't know about what he, like, his character and who he actually is. But because, like, my grandma always said this growing up, the N-word, even though it's derogatory towards black people, it's basically just a bad word that means ignorant and means stupid. It's like, the fact that we associate with black people is kind of annoying, because the word generally is just, defined as ignorance. And so we usually, I'm not going to castigate a guy for using that particular word, but the other language surrounding his use of it kind of is a problem. Not kind of, it's definitely a problem. And people out here saying that, oh, that's the reason why he was using that word was because he was talking to a friend, and him and this guy have a weird relationship where they can use that word. No, because if you're friends with somebody, you don't use a word that has that much hate behind it, as well as coupled with the other words that he was using in order to basically try to make somebody angry.
Okay. All right.
I don't know.
Matt?
I don't really have the same. I kind of go with the Skimbo thing, where, like, he's clearly, like, I go with the friend argument. Like, it's, from what I've read up on it, and I mean, I talked to him when I was in Orlando for the, I was at the Madden Bowl, because I'm close by. So I definitely went over there, talked to him for a while. I mean, he's a good dude. I really just think that's how he.
He could be a good dude and also be racist. I mean, that's not an issue behind it.
Like, I've seen, and again, like, he's another competitive dude, so I see what he's saying a lot. And, like, he jokes around on, like, I'm trying to think of the right phrase for it, but, like, on thin ice with that. Like, not really, like, there's no real tension, but he just, like, I don't know the way to explain it. But, like, it's in jest, like, it's weird, but, like, I don't have any good, like, way to explain it. But, like, it's not.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it. But
so this is two people from different races seeing things differently. As a black man, I see this dude as racist, offensive, and probably needs a talking to from some people, as opposed to people coming to his side, caping up for the guy. One of his tweets was, "Yeah, they caught that coon. I'll see tomorrow. They need to lynch him." That's not joking. Why are you using coon, and why are you saying they need to lynch him? That goes back to the 1950s, 1940s, when they used to lynch black people for just being black. Like, nah. Dude can be a good dude.
I know what
and
you're
also
saying.
still be racist.
Yeah,
like ScoMo said that he likes black women. So the fuck what? I know a lot of white people who love black women that also hate my black ass. So I don't know what that has to do with anything.
I know what you're saying.
I mean,
but, like,
Texas.
I don't know. I can't explain it well enough.
It's cool. Like, I'm not expecting you to explain this man's behavior. I just say I'm just going to disagree with you on him coming from a joking place with it.
I can't really hate on that. Like, I don't know.
Texas, to your point, I saw this on Twitter. Somebody said, you know who else really loved black women? They were slave owners.
Yeah. So that's why you see a lot of these owners having sex with them. They're not supposed to, because it's supposed to be of lesser people, lesser status, and so.
Yeah, that's why I didn't like that argument.
Yeah, it's a weird situation he finds himself in. Hopefully he learns from it. Hopefully he gets some black people in his life that aren't going to let him, or because like this story I tell all the time. When I was 18, 19, first year in college, roommate of mine, his brother or his cousin had a back in Call of Duty Black Ops had the emblems. You can make the emblems back in the day on Call of Duty. He had white KKK members lynching a black dude. And as a black guy, you got to speak up, because you can't let that slide. He thought it was funny. He had no idea that it was offensive. Like, how's that possible? Some people just are dumb. And if you don't tell them something's offensive and you just let it slide, that's how stuff spreads, and that's how other people find, like, other generations do the same thing, and so how things don't get better in the world. So it's as a black man on this podcast, I figure it's my right to speak on this, so people will know that what he did is not okay. You can't excuse it. Hopefully he learns from it and gets better, and because he's going to be at those tournaments every single time. This is a black eye for him, and if he keeps being defiant instead of trying to correct the behavior, it's going to cause an issue down the line.
Oh no, yeah. I mean, I don't disagree there. I don't think it was appropriate. That was probably not the best choice of words for an open website, if it's something you joke around with friends with. But yeah, I just don't think. Like, I don't think he's like crazy with it. I think it was just one of those things, just how they talked as friends.
This is weird though, because I don't let anybody my friends talk me that way. That's a fight
on Twitter.
Like, that's a fight though. Like, you taught me that way. We fighting, or somebody going to jail. Like, we ain't gonna be doing that, man. You gonna call me them names? It's on. Like, I wish I could get the address of some of these kids. I'll probably go to jail for that. That call me the N-word. Ain't that big of a deal, because like obviously it's on the internet and they're just angry, and everybody online is the N-word, whether you're black or white. So I kind of wish that I could just get some of these addresses, just so I can just just go to their house and just talk to their parents about this. They probably don't even care themselves.
Yeah, it's terrible. But let's move on. Unless you have something else, Matt.
No, we're good. Hopefully he learns from this. I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
I don't want to define somebody by their worst action, because that nobody wants to be defined by their worst action. It's we're humans. We're inconsistent. We all make mistakes. Hopefully, like I keep saying, hopefully he learns from this, and he doesn't use that word anymore. Even though if that's his best friend in the world, have some self-respect for yourself not to use that word. I know some Jewish people have some terms other Jewish people can call them, but it's a word that's offensive, so why use it? Like, why?
Yeah.
Especially you use the A then if you want to be like friendly. Like the ER, that's a different context. But yeah, we're done with it. We'll just go back to some lighter stuff.
Well, one thing I guess is, do you think EA is going to take any action over this, or they're just going to kind of ignore it and sweep it?
I don't think they can. The only thing they can do is just not invite him to the next competition.
Yeah,
that's the only thing they can do.
And
right?
it's not an invite thing too. Money. So like, I don't think.
Well, they can.
Really, like,
I
don't think
it's their money. They can do what they want.
Yeah, they can basically.
It's an
exclusive club.
I mean,
they
have to just completely ban them for that.
Yeah,
but I don't see.
Because like then I haven't seen last year's Madden champion Frank. I haven't seen him in any of these competitions. Like, what's he been doing? Has he not been qualifying for anything?
In the fourth round, this one.
And he was there?
No, in the online qualifiers.
Oh, okay. So he's the champion. He doesn't get automatic like status to go. You have to still qualify.
No, and then he lost in groups in the first one. Like,
oh, that's interesting. I thought you've been the champion. You just basically show up and just play.
The top 8 of every event get invited into the online group stage for the next one. But if you don't win in groups, then you don't make it to the event.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
All right. So,
watch too much
another
wrestling.
thing.
What's that? I watched too much wrestling. I thought the champion had to beat the champion in order to get the rewards. But nope, wrong about that.
Yeah, technically you kind of had to beat him in group stages.
But it's weird though, because why did I got to requalify? Like, is that just to be fair? 'Cause I wouldn't mind if the champion. I don't know how you guys feel about that. If the champion who won last year just automatically got a bid.
Well, he does have to. He gets to be able to skip qualifying for the next.
He
skips the online. He skips the online single elimination, but he gets put into groups. So like,
Oh, guess what? Okay, I thought the groups were kind of the same thing as online. Okay, I don't know anything about tournament stuff,
Yeah.
so you guys help me
once
out
you
right
get to
now.
the groups, then you gotta pass the groups to move on to the next stage.
and
Gotcha,
then the live
gotcha.
event groups, and then single elimination again for the final 8.
So groups are online and live events are at the places like Orlando and also in Houston.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, got you. I understand what you're talking about now. Thank you.
All right, so this came up from Black Letter Law. You see EA and their developers on Twitter rooting for specific competitive players. Like, there was one EA employee that they said, "Hey, problem, this is only a bump in the road, and your struggles are another person's highlight of their life." Now, is it fair that EA, the company running this competition, and he's just an employee, how would it look if like an employee of the NFL tweeted that at like Tom Brady or something, or I guess Tom Brady's a bad example, but tweeted that at Matt Ryan, saying, "Hey, you did good, really rooting for you out there, but it didn't look that way." Is that a good look for EA to be rooting for specific players, and does that cause any conflicts of interest, Mattster?
I mean, I don't really see it. I think they're just kind of being nice. I don't really think there's too many issues that could be caused with that. Yeah, like I mean, everybody talks at the events. Like I was there, I was talking to everybody. I mean, it was just everybody talking to each other. Everybody's kind of like it's just a friendly atmosphere. I mean, I don't think that's the exact word I'm should be using, but like like when you're there, you talk to the devs and they're cool. Like they're all cool people. And
I'm not saying they aren't.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like I don't think there's anything that's happening if they're rooting. Like you can't control if they support a player or not. Like you know what I mean? Like if there's gonna be a conflict of interest, they have to completely be biased and like they gotta be. There's no way to control that. That's really what I'm saying.
For example, the biggest issue that's happening right now with the competitive players is this EA series and people dashboarding. So, say Matt Markow is really good friends with Joke, and Joke said on Twitter, "I'm going to be dashboarding people unless they do something to fix this." Say they have some evidence of Joke dashboarding. I'm not saying he has. I'm just saying
what's hypothetical.
Well, here's the thing though. Like, how do you
Matt's like,
control
but
that?
He's a good guy. I've created 2 whole patches for him. I've fixed the online blocking system because of Joke's complaints. I've done all this other thing. I've taken a field goal glitch out of competitive play because Joke said we shouldn't have it in there. So Joke dashboarded a couple times, but he's a good guy. I'll keep him in. But then some other Joe Schmo that Matt doesn't know. You can see evidence of him dashboarding against other people, and he's like, "I don't know this guy. Fuck that guy. He's probably did it in the worst intentions possible." Whereas Joke's just doing it to do, say, a joke or to show some sort of, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a political
statement
to get it out there. Yeah, statement.
I mean,
so that's where it kind of comes into conflicts of interest, where you hear these employees of the organizing company rooting for specific competitive players, and maybe something like that pops up.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think there's any way to control that. Like, it's the same in, like, most situations. Like, how do you control if somebody, like, supports someone? Like, even if they don't say anything on Twitter, like, I mean, you can't really control that. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't lose sleep over that.
What do you think?
I don't think it really matters about, like, these EA employees, like, rooting for somebody. Because I just don't think that there's a conflict of interest there. Because they're not really... You're around somebody enough, you can build a relationship with them. And so I think that's how that goes. Problem's always there. So you're going to gravitate towards somebody that's always at these events instead of trying to go with the fresh faces. Now, as long as it doesn't affect your opinions and other stuff that affects the game, like I don't think that matters at all. Yeah. My issue with the people having relationships with these guys are the commentators, because it shows what they're rooting for when they're commentating the game. That's my one complaint. The commentators be all up on problem. It's crazy watching. It's so annoying. I don't like it. I kind of wish they would change that, because I think as a commentator of the game, your opinion's irrelevant. Your objective here is to just talk about what's happening. I don't need what you're rooting for. I don't need any leanings or any inkling of who you're rooting for. Just tell me what's going on the field.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much like that. I mean, I see what you're saying, where there is a lot of favor towards problem. I mean, he's always there. He's always fighting. He is referred to as the GOAT. So they want to try to peddle that while Madden is still growing. I don't know. Like, I see what you're saying. I just don't think it's really an issue. I don't mind it just from watching it.
Well, let's go back to sports too, because so people hate Troy Aikman. Like, if you go to if you do a top 10 hated sports broadcast, hates people in sports, it's usually going to be commentators. Skip Bayless is probably number 1.
Yeah.
And people just don't want to know what your biases are. If you're going to be commentating on a game, it should just be objective free. It should just be, all right, that's a nice pass by Matt Ryan, or that pass was or incomplete. Like, it shouldn't be like heavy on this guy's to go, and this guy is probably next to the guy that he's playing is just a Joe Schmo. Like, I feel like it should kind of be called evenly there. Put both people over instead of putting one guy over.
Yeah. I mean,
I completely agree with you, Texas. Go on, Matt.
Yeah, no, I was like, they generally go over both players, but I see where they're saying there generally is like a heavy favorite towards some players and how they commentate. Because I guess it's partially because they know them and they have the names, but they're able to see how they play so often. So, like, again, Problem is going to go down there. He's going to control the clock, and that's his style of gameplay. But, like, for some of these guys, like Scott, who, like, doesn't see these players play all the time and, like, know their play styles, it's harder for them to kind of say, like, okay, he likes to do this. Let's see how he does this against so-and-so style of play. Where, like, in the NFL, you could see, okay, Seattle likes to run the ball. And you got, like, we'll just give it a team like the Raiders. We'll say they have great run defense. So how is this going to interact? Because you know both sides. Whereas in, like, Madden right now, there's a lot of dudes that don't have the gameplay shown on the highest stage. So it's kind of hard for the commentators who haven't seen their gameplay as often as you see NFL teams play to relate with on both sides.
But that again falls on the commentators, like, or well, not even there. Probably falls in their interns or the people who are supposed to be doing the information for them, coming with the research and all that. Because obviously they had an information packet in front of them to get hit certain highlights and mention certain things. But it's not fun as a viewer, because if you go to those streams, man, it gets when Problem's playing, man, the chat just lights up. Come on, stop sucking, Problem. It's all the same thing. Problem's not that good. It's just a bunch of everybody. Maybe there's also haters there and stuff, but it's mostly just like, yo, they're really heavily rooting for one dude to win, and it shows.
Yeah, I think part of that is with that the lack of the spectator feature in the game. There's a lot of people who just don't show their game. So, like, as players, we know what another player likes to do because we've matched up with them. So, like, I could say, okay, this person likes to do this because I played him so many times, and that's what he's done every single time. But, like, for commentators who don't play against these players all the time, it's harder for them to say without any, like, evidence of what they like to do based off just previous videos or stuff they could watch. It's kind of hard for them to work with that. Like, you can ask a person, this is what I like to do, but, like, that's not, you don't have a lot to work with at that point. You just have to say, like, okay, they said that I like to do this, and let's just go with it.
Well, sometimes silence is good too. They can just be quiet. They don't gotta talk. They can just be quiet. They don't have to be out here like talking the entire time. Like, I learned that as a commentator on YouTube. Sometimes just silence is good. Just trying to fill the dead air there. Just let the sound effects in the background and let the crowd make the sound for you.
Let the game announcers do it.
Yeah, well, those guys are nice. They're not biased at all. They give me facts. I turn them off. I don't have any idea what they be saying. Like, I have no clue.
Yeah, I got that off.
Me too. Hey, so do you think there's a skill gap in Madden?
Yes. Oh, for sure. And
Texas boy?
Okay.
Skill gap. Between, like, the top players and the bottom players? Or, like, are you talking
just in general?
Well, I don't know, because I feel like the top 10% is good and the bottom 10% is terrible, but in the middle is kind of the same. So I think that skill gap's probably on the fringes. It's not in the middle, though, because anybody can win or lose now, especially based off the ELO rating. So the skill gap's kind of gone out the window.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you talk about the median, that's going to be that's going to have the majority of the players. I mean, you go to the standard deviation with the bell curve, and you get like 68% of the players. That's always going to be similar. I don't think really, like, especially with like Call of Duty, that was something I played a lot before Madden. The majority of the players are very similar. Even like until you get up to the high end of the players, you get to like the third deviation. That's when you start seeing the most differentiation. But, like, the standard player in Mut, or, like, compared to the standard player who just, like, buys the copy every year and just, like, plays 5 games and, like, turns it off, I mean, you're not going to see too much variation. But, I mean, at the top level, there's a pretty wide skill gap, I'd say.
But that skill gap's kind of due to ebooks, though. Like, I feel like I can be any of these dudes who go no adjustments challenge. I can be any of these guys. But because they have all these adjustments they make, it kind of makes them obviously a lot better. Because we talked about this with Berg a couple weeks ago, and I was like, these guys are great, but they're not like Call of Duty greats. Because the Call of Duty greats are playing like the same game across the board, and they have rules and regulation what they can and can't do. Whereas over here in this mode, and not disrespect you, 'cause I know you're top Madden guy. Like, the ebooks help you guys out. I'm not gonna say ebooks help you guys out a lot, but the plays that you guys run and the adjustments and all that are kind of like unreal.
I mean, I agree with when there's nanos. Like there's an issue with nickel blitz right now. That's clearly an issue. That's something that needs to get fixed because you can see the blitz is coming, and blitzes are something that needs to get balanced. And I hope that there's a running back feature in the future where you could just target somebody to pick up, and that would solve the blitzes. Because blitzes, I do agree, they do remove skill from it. Like, yes, there is different coverage adjustments you can make out of it to make it seem a little different and play a little different. And like that's better defense, but it's still like you're doing the same exact thing every play, and the offense knows you're doing that every play. But there's not a lot they can do to counteract that. Like, there are options, but there's not a simple, like, okay, you're doing this. I know you're doing this. Stop this, if that makes sense.
Yep.
So we're like, that's where I do think Dollar takes a little more skill than Nickel Blitz, is because you do have that uniform look where you can send pressure from either side. You could stop the run really well. Like, it's very balanced, and it takes, like, Dollar run very well is skillful because of that. And that's why I like it as a defense. It's not what I run, but I like it better than Nickel Blitz because of that balance-wise. But
yeah,
gotcha.
With the blitzes, especially with the nanos in the past, like people can win games just off of blitz, and I don't think that's like I know a lot of like players that are playing the game for a while like that because they think, okay, I found this, now I'm gonna use it and just beat everybody. But like that's not skill. You just found something that, like, I don't care that it glitches the game, but if I lose a game because I have never seen this before, that's imbalanced. Like that shouldn't happen. That's not skill.
I don't know. There's a certain skill in discovering things in the game, and there's a certain amount of time, like the amount of that time that people are putting into playing a game of Madden, similar to the amount of time that these people are putting into practice mode to finding these blitzes, because these blitzes don't come easy. I've tried to find some myself, and they're tough and inconsistent at times. So when you find one, it's like, wow, it took a long time to get this, and it was hard earned, and then somebody just copies you. You're like, crap, man. But it's kind of like similar. I made the same argument before between Hearthstone. Deck building and competitive playing are two different things. Discovering blitzes and actually using them in games and executing is two completely different things. And one more thing on the skill gap. I think there's a big skill gap in Madden. That's why you see Problem win 95% of his games. But I think Madden's in a good place where, say my stars align 1 out of 100 games against Problem, I can win. Like 1 out of 100, I think I could take Problem down. But that's like if everything goes my way though.
Yeah.
Like that's like
fumbles,
so I think,
picks.
Like, so
it's the block
Sunday,
shit.
And
he's better than me, but something crazy could happen. I think that's perfect for Madden, where it's like poker or other online games where it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna win 50. He's gonna win 55% of the time, but he's slightly better. So when you see a lot of I see a lot of like streamers and YouTubers complaining about how crappy the game is and how there's no skill gap and it's all whatever. I'm like, but then like I said, Joke earlier brought him up. He had like a 93% win percentage on the salary cap leaderboard. Problem's got 95 on the Mut head-to-head leaderboard. It's like, I don't know. If your record is at that 90% and above win percentage, then you can go ahead and start blaming EA for things. But below that, it's like, no, your skill really isn't the top tier skill that it can be.
Yeah,
and that's my opinion on it.
I don't think it's as balanced as it should be. I'm personally of the opinion that the better player should win 100% of the times when they play better. But I also think that like
no, I mean,
that's part of the reason.
The worst team wins sometimes. The Patriots didn't go 19-0.
Oh yeah, I mean but like if the better player plays better, as the player, I don't want to lose that game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but there has to be some randomness in a game.
I mean, there is, but like I think things like fumbles should be gone too. Like,
you agree to with me?
There. Yeah,
fumbles should be out of the game.
I want I've always fought for a different like ranked mode. So like there's things like fumbles gone, so I don't have to deal with that. It's like if I go down the field and then I fumble, did you outplay me there, or like I'm holding R1 and you hit stick me?
Did you run the ball 30 times?
Well, I have full stamina.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm very good at my stamina. I don't like fumbling.
But I don't know this in Madden. I'm just speculating. Does each consecutive hit take a toll on a player during a game? I saw on, I forgot it, was it Clint's Twitter account? He said in like CFM, each spectacular catch adds to their injury chance for future plays.
I think if you take a hit during your spec catch, but I don't know if that's how that works. I can't tell you on that. I really don't know.
Okay.
But
all right, sorry.
like,
Go on.
I think stamina does affect it. So like I try to be very cautious with my stamina. So like I know a lot of dudes like to say that I complain about fumbles because I run the ball a lot, but like if anything, I fumble less than my running back than anybody. Like my receiver's the one that fumble for me, not my running back.
As in real life, yeah.
Yeah,
Fumbles
like
usually don't come from the running back too much.
yeah, because
Yeah,
I mean they're the dudes that have the highest. Like they're the ones that are trained to carry the ball, right? They have the highest carry in the game. So I mean that's gonna be why they fumble less as long as you're at full stamina. And I mean, as long as you're at full stamina and you have high carry, I shouldn't fumble. I don't care if you got a user hit stick. I don't care if you held R1 and stripped me, which is the dumbest thing. But like, I just don't see fumbling being a thing that should be competitive. Like, I mean, if your quarterback slides or takes a hit or you're trying to throw it away with your quarterback and then you get hit and you fumble, like that's fine. But I'm talking about like straight up normal fumbles that shouldn't be in it for competitive play.
Yeah, there's no consistency with the fumbles because yeah, anything obviously NFL is random, but this is more of a video game, so I don't like when people say, "Well, if fumbles happen in real life," I'm like, "Yeah, no, but nobody also does 17 adjustments for a play." So like, you can't have it both ways.
This isn't real life. You create the perfect world while you can.
Yeah, try to do what you can. So I suggest no fumbles back in this game except for quarterbacks because in this game especially, I will run the ball with Ezekiel Elliott 14 times. Don't sub him out of the game. Nothing. And then I bring in Derrick Henry for one play. And then he gets tackled by Dion. The ball pops out. It's like, how's that gauged? And you get big hit after big hit with these big hitting chemistry guys, Cam Chancellor, Landon Collins, and just nothing happens. I just needed to be a little bit more consistent so you can predict when a fumble's going to happen or just remove them.
Which Derrick Henry, though?
I got the 90. Not the 90, the motivator Derrick Henry.
He fumbles for you? What the heck?
Yeah, no, I got clips. He
right,
goes to the game first carry from the line of scrimmage
one.
and just dead.
Yours is broken. Sell that one and buy another one.
Okay.
That dude's
broken. Well, yeah. So it's just really weird when it comes to that, and like the sack fumbles are kind of annoying as well because it seems like whenever I get hit, it's always a sack fumble. But when I send pressure at a quarterback and he's throwing away, it just doesn't happen as much as it will happen to me, which is like once a game. So I think fumbles do have a place in the game, but it's just right now you can't predict when they're going to happen, which is kind of the issue I think with them being in the game.
Yeah, like that's why it's
going to happen on this play or
power to carry difference. Yeah. Like threshold, we're like, okay, there's 10K power to carry difference or something. Like I'm just going to throw out a number. Like if it's between that, you can't fumble. But if it's over that, like then you have to worry about it. Then you have to think like, okay, should I risk this back who has less carry running into hit sticks and fumbling? Or should I make sure I spend for the carry and get the dude who isn't going to fumble? And then you have to pay attention in the game if you have to worry about that carry or not. But like, if it's just completely random, then like, what did they do better than you to make you fumble?
Yeah, I think there's a lot that goes into the fumble formula. It's one, carrying and hit stick is one of the things. I think maybe player weight plays a little bit into it, and then also the angle at which they're hit and the hit stick. Like, getting hit stick at a different angle will have a better chance of getting a fumble, I think, just from the animations that I've seen. But
yeah,
I don't know. I do agree the high hit power dude should, obviously cause more fumbles, but it's who knows? It's a fine line to walk. So you're saying EA should make a competitive Madden mode.
Essentially.
Like the salary cap should be this way.
Same way in like Call of Duty, there's different rule sets where like you can't use certain guns.
Yes.
Now, like, this isn't restricting stuff, but it's restricting certain RNG from happening. And for people who don't know, that's random number generator, which is just another way to say random events that occur. So fumbles being one of them, maybe drop catches being another, drop interceptions, stuff like that, that just you don't really have too much control over. And trying to put as most 100%. Control into the user as you can.
I gotcha.
It's like 0 to 100.
I mean, that makes sense. A more deterministic Madden for salary cap. Do you think EA should make salary cap competitive Madden, hands down, no more draft champions, Matt?
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I know people like, I talked to D. Jones, and he likes draft champs because you have all these different playbooks, and if you're better with a lot of playbooks, you have an advantage for knowing more about the playbooks. I personally say, well, yeah, but if somebody gets the playbook that they've run all year, even though you know a lot about a lot of playbooks, and you got a playbook that you know a decent amount of from, they have a massive advantage over you, and there's not a thing you can do about it. Like, there's no way to balance that. You can't say, okay, go into the tournament. What's the playbook that you run? Like, that's not an option. So, from that standpoint, I just don't think it'll ever be balanced.
Texas, what do you think? Draft champions, competitive mode or not?
I like it when it's draft champion. I just don't like how the playbooks I'm not really worried about because personally I don't really play. I can play with any playbook. I'll just adjust to whatever it is. I'm not playing competitively, so I'm playing against these bums who I can beat. But I don't like the random number of elites that people may not get, and also like and right now the pools is kind of old, so you get the same players, but it's when some people get 3 elites in the draft and some people get 12. Like, I don't think that's fair. Elites aren't the end all be all. Some of that speed stuff matters. Some of the block shot stuff matters. And when you kind of get a terrible draft, it kind of can help you lose. So I like the salary cap mode because at least you can build your team around that. With draft champions, you have no idea what's going to happen with the players you get, which is probably why they can't be competitive unless they give you a guaranteed 7 elites. And those could be random, but and then you get those rounds where you get like 7 linemen in a row. Like, what am I supposed to do with this? Like, I got duplicate linemen. I got 2 quarterbacks. It's like, give me 3 quarterbacks. I already draft. Like, I don't feel like that can be good.
Yeah, I don't. Especially, I pretty much agree with that too. My major issue is the playbooks. Like, that is enough for me to say no, this shouldn't be a mode.
Yeah.
But like there are other flaws, and again, I think there is flaws with salary cap too. Like the flaw with the flex player, how it's not really used by anybody.
But lineman.
Like, it's not really a flex player, it's just more cap. Like, that's all it is. So, but again, like, it could be balanced more. The cap formula could be changed, but in general, the structure of the mode is a much better competitive mode than draft champs.
Oh, for sure. So, talking about draft champions and not being updated, Texas, are we going to talk about how you're the champion of draft champions on Twitter and using your clout to make Madden devs respond to the non-updates?
I mean, it's kind of weird that people have been requesting a DC update probably for 3 months. I want to say TD requested this a while ago. And TD's bigger than me. TD Presents is a much bigger YouTuber than I am. He requested this a while ago, and nobody said anything. But all of a sudden today, after I start retweeting EA Sports Mut tweets about DC Play T&D today, I'm like, no, it's not updated yet. And then all of a sudden, we get a tweet from Matt Markel saying that the mode was going to be updated eventually. Like, I think that's me. Like, I has to be me.
Oh, yeah. Totally you, man.
That's me. It's definitely me.
Oh, yeah. And Matt, what do you think? Why isn't EA updating draft champions? You just forget about it this year because it wasn't a new mode?
No, I don't know why. I don't really know why. Again, when I was in Orlando, they said they were just as annoyed as everybody else was that it wasn't updated. So I don't really know exactly. And this is for the Madden Bowl, so this is a couple weeks ago.
Isn't there like a certain team on draft champions? Why can't they update it? Are they busy with other things?
I think it's with the expansion of the competitive division, and they were probably working on that last year because it was the first mode with the tournament. It was on the draft champs leaderboards, and it was the first year it came out. Like, I think it's just more of an expansion of the competitive branch that they have. And it was just kind of one of their last priorities, but now with the tournament coming up, it's going to be fixed. I think it's something along those lines, but I have no way of really knowing. I didn't ask.
So, all right, one more question on. Well, I guess 2 more questions on competitive. One more open. Like, give me an idea or two. We've already talked a little bit. How would you make competitive Madden better, Matt? Give me like 30-second answer.
Ranked game mode, I would fix the salary cap so it works a little better. I don't think everything's accounted for, like player thresholds, like 96 route running, 96 spec catch, stuff like that. Cap wise, I think that needs to be adjusted. I would add a spectator mode. It just depends. Like, I think thresholds need to be factored into cap. Just like 90 truck is a big threshold. So like that should be more than just a standard 88 to 89. 89 to 90 should be a bigger cap difference than the other one. Then a spectator mode is necessary. Because a lot of dudes don't stream their games because, like, they don't want people to see what they're running. But you can't have an esport without anything to watch. So for these single elimination games, you need to have something to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, and to make sure no shenanigans happen, like what Dub.W did to get his buddy into the final.
Yeah, because we still don't really know if anything happened there.
Yeah, because he lost by the exact amount that he needed to lose by to get him in.
Yeah, so I don't know. Like, I don't know if anything happened there. I can't. There's no real way to confirm. but you would be able to confirm with spectator mode. And then hopefully a league comes up, so we're not just worrying about like rankings on a leaderboard, but there's something constant to watch throughout the year. So I know that Call of Duty has the CWL, Counter-Strike has E-League. There's stuff like that to where you could see players play. Like it's beneficial for players and for viewers, because viewers get something that's going on all year that's consistent. I don't know how, like, again, it's just a theoretical thing. So like they'll just say every day there's games to watch and it's for this league. And that keeps interest high all the time rather than just around tournament time. And that gets viewers high for,
interesting.
like on Twitch, ideally for everybody else while streaming around that time period. And then that also benefits the players, because then that brings in more money for them. That gives them more security, and hopefully it brings in more organizations to sponsor them.
That'd be cool. Yeah. Texas, what about you? What are you thinking?
One thing has been consistent about with the fixing of the competitive modes is just I personally will remove all adjustments that you could possibly make. Just play straight up. I would love to see. That's all I want to see. I just want to see the two of these guys go at it without doing 14 adjustments and hiking the ball with 1 second on the play clock every time. Like, I just want to see how that would go. I feel like more people would be involved because it's kind of more realistic football. I feel like that'll get the audience retention up, because Greg Olson was commentating and he saw that Jimmy Graham dive, and he was not happy about that. He was like, "What the?" He wanted to call BS so bad. He wanted to call BS so bad. He couldn't. Yeah, like what the huh?
He was
so
not
like I don't think
that.
people get turned off by that, and as a viewer, you're watching, you're like, I can't do that. Like, I can't be out here doing all this. Like, but I feel like if you're gonna try to get into the competitive scene, these guys are playing with like not sending spam cornerback blitzes and sending that cover 2 blitz where the D tackle kind of comes in. Like I think that will probably be more enticing. That's the only thing I think they can that would get more people involved into.
I think it needs to be.
Yeah.
There needs to be the removal like glitch plays is kind of more accurate to what you're saying. So like how blitzes can't really be blocked 100% of the time, even though you know they're coming. Stuff along those lines. Where like offensively there isn't really anything besides maybe like the cover 3 beaters that get behind a safety. Offensively, it's really just a lot of route concepts made to beat defenses.
Yeah, which I'm cool with the route concepts.
I know last year was crazy.
Like, I'm cool with the route concepts, but like when you watch somebody come out in that bunch formation and they do all those adjustments, quick slant, out route, then they motion a guy over there, and then they have like there's just so much work going involved. I don't find that entertaining to watch.
That adds to the skill of it, though. Because that's setting up an offense to beat the defense presented to you.
Yeah. So I think if the defense, maybe it might just be defenses then. It might no adjustments.
I think you're
defense,
seeing
really.
it because you're seeing all these adjustments. You're like, okay, they're setting up something to just completely break the game, whereas the offense is just set up to beat the defense. There's nothing too crazy there. But defensively, I could see the argument. I pretty much agree with the argument. I think there is a lack of skill gap and entertainment in seeing the same play on defense every single play.
Yeah, like I just want to see, because I feel because growing up, I didn't really watch the Madden bus, whatever the hell it was called, the Madden America.
Madden America is the current show.
Yes. I don't know what the show was called.
Madden Nation.
Madden Nation. I didn't really watch that growing up, but I watched my dad and his friend play, and their biggest arguments came because they were just playing straight up, just regular cover 2, regular cover 3, regular man coverage, and just relied upon the players and their attributes, which may have mattered at the time in order to make plays on stuff. It wasn't what they're doing now, and I just feel like that would be kind of bring back some older heads to watch. Because I keep saying, like, I just don't find myself enjoying these tournaments really. Outside of the players and their emotion, like, there's not really a reason for me to watch because I know what they're going to be doing 99% of the time.
Yeah, the issue with straight coverages is, for one, you're relying a lot on pass rush, and you're relying on the sheds to win. You also, generally with stock coverages, they're very easy to beat. Because ratings, like, there isn't a way to control how players are going to play randomly. Like, a lot in the NFL, like, if you have 2 deep safeties, they can recognize that you're running a concept to beat cover 2. So they can go out and they can take advantage of that and try to make a play on the ball. But in Madden, it's always generated to be the same spot in the same play because there's no way to go otherwise. So therefore, you leave to these cover 3 beaters, these cover 2 beaters, and then if you don't have any other way to protect yourself in that coverage, you're going to get beat.
Yeah,
So that's why you don't really see that.
And I'm not saying you can still send blitzes. I'm just saying you can't be doing the other stuff. Like, so you can stocks. I just want to see stock plays. You can still send the mid blitz if you want to. You can still send the I don't know how many blitzes. A Mike Scrape. Is that in this Madden? I don't think Mike Scrape.
I mean, it's
you can still
in this
send,
game,
you
but
can
it's
still,
not.
I just want to see stock plays. Really, like I don't want to see like if a guy's coming out running a certain play, you can still adjust to it with your the play that's in place to prevent that from happening. But I just don't want to see 40 adjustments, cloud flat. So a guy comes out in cover 2, and the only way you can throw the ball is literally to the middle of the field, but the guy's using that. But the cornerbacks on the outside are playing the guy down the field. Like it's just so much stuff that just like, doesn't process in my head, and with real football that I just don't find myself enjoying watching. So I'm just going based off like watching and viewership and all that. They had a great number. We'll get to probably that later on. I just think it'd probably be bigger if they, was more appealing to everybody as opposed to just the kind of the hardcore.
Yeah, if it looked like the product on the field on Sundays.
Yeah, I mean it's. I don't know. I don't feel like it's very recognizable to the people who don't know. Like, I mean, if I'm coming out and I'm cross-manning my defense, people who just, like, are sitting down watching have no idea what's happening. They just assume I'm in zones.
Yeah, but like, you're watching, you're seeing, like, why does this guy keep, like, for example, with W, why does he keep doing 7 adjustments, quick slant, and then motioning, and then hiking the ball with 1 second? It's like, why does he keep doing all this over and over and over again? And just like, this is the same play. And it was not just him. I think it was like 3 of the like last remaining guys kept running the same offense. Like,
yes, well, I know this is something that Skimbo does a lot. He comes out in like 5 plays. Skimbo runs corner strike, he runs Z-spot, he runs verticals, he runs draw, and he runs base. And that's his offense. You have to factor in all the adjustments that go into it. It's like it's not really the same play. It just uses all those routes and those different routes on the fields and different places of motion. So, like, when you see a previous play, it's the same play, but it's not really the same play. And it's, again, set up to counter what the defense did. Like, I just don't agree with the argument.
But the argument that Texas is making, okay, and it kind of extends into this. Why are there only certain plays that are very good?
Well, you get different routes to be like. The thing is that not all routes you can hot route, so you need to take advantage of those. So certain routes have plays where you could hot route every single route. So why would you use those plays?
Exactly. Like why put those plays in the game? Why can't you hot route more routes like a post route or a corner route?
Because those are generally the 2 best routes in the game. There's a lot of ways that you could beat a lot of different coverage with those routes.
So there's like 75-80% of a playbook that's like this is useless.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, if I came out in stick...
That's true.
If I come out in stick and the running back isn't on the table route, I am only calling that play for the different way the line blocks.
Yeah.
Or, like, if I came out in quick slants, like, quick slants is completely useless. Unless you, for some reason, need 3 slants on the field.
If it has
there's, like, 2 seconds left on the play clock, and you just need to get some. Like, that's the only reason it has any sort of use.
Yeah, like if you were up getting chips and a soda or something, and you come back, oh crap, I only got 2 seconds left.
Quick slants.
Like that's the only way you're running quick slants. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like EA could do a little bit better with that playbook than the hot routes thinking. But anyways, do you think so? EA focused a lot on Madden competitive, and this is getting a little long. Sorry guys. Do you think they're going to continue to focus on competitive Madden going forward? Like this was the year that they're focusing on it. Do you think this is going to be a long-term strategy for EA? Like 5 years from now, are they still going to be putting this much resources into competitive Madden, Matt?
I hope so. I want to get to the point where, I can make a living off this, ideally. So if I could do that, that'd be great if they're focusing on competitive. I mean, focusing on competitive, especially in a game like Madden, doesn't really hurt the general consumer. If anything, it makes it a better experience. Like, what I want as a player is I want blitzes gone, so, like, it takes more skill on defense to run. Like, you can't just run the same play every time because I'm just going to take advantage of that, or, like, I'm not going to fumble. So, like, if you're on offense and you're just playing a random guy and he doesn't fumble, are you complaining? But if you do fumble, you're going nuts. So, like, I don't think that hurts the general consumer in any way, really.
I think generally competitive Madden players have the best feedback for the Madden devs on the on-the-field product. And there are a lot of things I disagree with them on. It's like some of the competitive players love the swerve and love nano blitzes, and I couldn't disagree with them more on those things. But
I do too.
Generally, because you guys play it the most, you guys see, like, when I see you tweet to Rex or Clint or something like that, I see that, I'm like, yeah, that's some pretty good feedback. There was, earlier this year, Rex, it was hilarious to me. He compared a tweet from Problem about there being too many block sheds
and
to another
not enough.
And then to another person saying there's not enough block sheds on high end. And Rex is like, what do I do with this feedback? I'm like, well, listen to the guy that's played your game for 3,000 hours already.
Yeah.
He's probably got better feedback. But so I don't know. So I like that they're focusing competitive, but there's some things where I'm like, man, devs, you really should have just ignored that motherfucker.
Well, it also depends. Like, those are two things that aren't agreed upon with everybody. Like, I know some people love blitzes, and I personally hate them. Same with the swerve. Like, I know people love the swerve, but like I don't really think it's balanced enough.
No,
but there are two good arguments, and those are a different thing. But in general, there's an alignment between the competitive player who just wants the best product and the normal player who just plays the game who wants the best product. It's a very similar kind of thing.
Yeah,
it's just more
I
tuned
think
towards less randomness, really.
You're in that crowd that wants the best product for competitive and casual, more like football, except for your fumble thing. Texas, what do you think? Will they continue to focus on Madden competitive?
Well, they have to at this point. There's so much. They got a lot of money into it this year, and they're getting sponsors now. Like, they're going to keep going into it just based off that, just based off of the eyes that are watching. And I'm not too sure if it boosted the sales of Madden. I don't have that information in front of me, but I think they're going to keep focusing on it just based off of those two things alone: sponsors and more people watching their game. They put so much time and effort into making.
Yeah, it makes sense. But I mean, here's the thing: like, we've seen this in the past with Madden. They've done these awesome things and they put it in the game, and then like they just kind of get bored of it and they move on. I can't think of any specific examples right now, but like features in the past, and they just moved on to it and not really think about it. But
I don't think it's going to be one of these like huge like esports games such as like we said Hearthstone or CS:GO or even Call of Duty. I think it's just going to be probably the best sports ebook sports esport, the best sports esport game
I agree.
available, but it's not going to be top tier based off of the skill gap that is there, and also because they don't have any regulation and rules really besides just don't do this and don't do that. Because Call of Duty, like Matt said, they have restrictions on what you can and can't use, whereas Madden, you can do what the hell you want to.
Well, there's a difference there too, because like really the only thing you can't do in Madden, like that's illegal, is blocking a field goal besides like the standard way. Everything else is pretty much fair game because there isn't anything that's like everything else is pretty much counterable. Whereas in like if you're coming out in Call of Duty, like danger close is banned because there's no direct counter to danger close, so they have to ban it. And like granted, there's some other exceptions. There's just things that like players don't want to play against. But I mean, there doesn't really need to be for Madden.
I think there needs to be rules and stuff about what you can and can't do. I would love to see that, but it's kind of hard to enforce online. Like you have to enforce it while they get there. Then that kind of may take somebody out of the event who was not really hip to the rules. But I think with Call of Duty is a little bit different though, because that's a more cleaner game to watch. And at that point, you're watching just two great teams or great individually shooters who are like master the game. Whereas in Madden, I don't think anybody can officially master this game without like. You disagree? Because you play this more than I do. I don't think anybody can just master the game. I feel like again the skill gap between Call of Duty players and Madden players is huge.
I just think it's different. I think it's a different skill. When you're playing Call of Duty, it's a lot more reactionary skill. It's a lot more of like, okay, my aim is very good. My hand-eye coordination is great. And then at that point, it's having the knowledge of being like, okay, I need this. It's a lot of timing-based knowledge, and it's a lot of just like hand-eye coordination. Where in Madden, it's really just like, can you outsmart your opponent?
Which is also in.
That's
what
I
think. I think the hand-eye coordination and the twitch fast muscle movement is easier and more impressive than Madden. 'Cause I feel like I keep going back to this. I could beat any of you guys if y'all want one of the ebooks. I got y'all. I can beat.
I mean,
anybody.
nobody runs an ebook. If anything, we're the ones that make it.
Okay, yeah. If y'all didn't make these ebooks and y'all didn't know these spam plays, the skill gap would be basically like it was back when you were 7, 8 years old playing.
I mean, at that point, you're just calling random plays, though.
Yeah, that's what I want to see. I would love that. You know what? Let's get a Madden tournament and just have just coaches picks. Let's do that.
Texas, I feel like you're missing the point of Madden in general. Like, it's more of a mental game. We're like Call of Duty.
It's not mental though, really, because I feel like it's. I feel like on offense is more mental. On defense, everybody does the same thing.
Defense.
Defense.
I'm all here for entertainment. Like I'm just here for entertainment, really. I'm not trying to watch the same people do the same things over and over and over and over and over and over and over. Like it's not fun. It's so repetitive. I just want to be entertained, really. If I'm gonna watch a competition like that, football, for example, I don't want to see the Browns get their asses kicked all the damn time. I want to see close games. I don't like blowouts. I want to see close games. And these competitions, that while they are close, it's the same thing. I'm just this is not fun to watch.
The defense argument is like, it's fair, and again, like I agree that is part of a problem, but again, like if they didn't show you the previous play, like you wouldn't think it's the same play besides maybe the pressure, because the coverage behind it is not the same every play, and so that's why like I think for the tournaments, previous play should be off for the viewer because it creates that assumption. But like in general, I mean, as a player, I know I'm beating people and I'm not calling the same play every time. Like, even if I'm in the same physical play, it's not the same play.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, and I don't know. Like, to say Call of Duty, like your reactions start dulling out after the age of 22, I think. Whereas, and I think this is kind of off topic, sorry, but a benefit for competitive Madden just going forward is that like somebody like Problem,
yeah, exactly,
he could be as good as he is until like his 40s and his 50s because it's more of a mental game than an actual reaction time game, and it's much more chess than anything else, like I don't know, Egyptian rat screw or something like that.
Yeah,
where like you just got slap the cards.
So, yeah, and a lot of esports is reactionary, and that's why you see this comparison to like, okay, the skill gap isn't as wide, but I mean, it's a lot more just outsmarting. It's a lot closer to like a Hearthstone where like you just got to outsmart your opponent.
Yeah. And
there is a huge skill gap there, and like there are flaws of the game in my opinion that do lower that and raise that in different aspects, and it could still be improved upon. But in general, it's not that there's less of a skill gap. The skills that you need are just different, and it's hard because it's harder to acquire reaction time. It feels like it's different, but like the top end dudes are playing at a lot higher rate, like a higher skill, because they know more and they have more experience and they're just outsmarting their opponents.
Yeah.
More often.
They've seen everything you try to throw at them before, and they know how to adjust.
Exactly.
All right,
the play calls aren't surprising.
We're running long. Matt, I've got like 5 topics left. Let's try and get through these next ones quicker.
All right.
Texas.
Speed round.
Yeah, speed round, basically. All right, team play. Texas, tell me why you want team play and if it should be competitive game.
I really could care less about team play. Yes. So, only thing I'll say on it is I play 2K Pro Am, and playing with 5 people is fun. But with Madden, I don't know how they can do something similar to that. So if you get team play, it'd just be receiver, quarterback, halfback, and I'm just like, you're playing with your friends, but I just don't see the appeal of it after a couple of games.
Yeah, it's not as free form as other games. All right, go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, they said they stopped, like they took it out of the game because not enough people played it, and that's probably part of the reason why it's not like if you're stuck on a D-line all game, like what did you just do? Like why are you playing essentially? Like you just got stuck in D-line. I made my argument last time that creating a team-based sport creates toxicity with the community. You think you've seen some things now. Wait till there's teams involved, and then everything goes haywire. It gets crazy fast.
Like, what do you mean?
Like, people don't agree, and they're on the same team. And when something goes wrong, when somebody doesn't agree with each other, it goes bad.
A lot of CSGO drama?
Yeah, it's just there are issues created in decision making, and especially in a game like Madden where there's 3 people but only one play call to be made. Yeah, I'm not putting my money on somebody else. I want to make my own decisions. I can't.
Yeah, that's why you found your own team, right? And you be the quarterback and you get supporting characters.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas, like, if I got somebody running his own route because he's mad, I'm going to lose my mind. or if I give the ball to somebody else, say I'm playing quarterback, I give the ball to a friend of mine who's a running back or a teammate of mine who's a running back, and he misses the hole, I'm going to punch a wall. Like, I'm going to lose my mind.
Yeah. But ideally you have a friend that's a better running back than you are.
Yeah, I know, but this is more of a theoretical thing where, like...
yeah.
Like if
but that's more drama. That's better for competitive reasons. That's better for the viewer, for Texas point.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be entertaining to watch 3 people. Now, I would love it if it was just 3 random people. Like, I'm all here for just like
You
just
got a
different
random
things.
thing going on.
Imagine like you go down there and it's like there's 24 people there and there's
And they
8
just all get
groups
randomly
of 3.
patched up.
Yeah, that'd be random. You get randomly assigned up a quarterback. That'd be kind of fun to watch. Like, I just
Now-
want to see things that would be entertaining as opposed to just the starch structure of this, because it's sports and game entertainment, and none of this stuff seems fun. All this stuff seems like work. Like, none of this stuff seems fun to me. So I would like to see that happen. It could be like a thing on the side. It could be
like that's fine,
Problem and Dub.W on the same team, and y'all got to work
and
together
I know
to win
he
a prize.
holds like Saloon holds like CVCs, which is essentially 3v3s, and like each person, it's a best 2 out of 3, and you get paired up with 2 other people, and then if 2 people on your team win, you advance to the next round, something like that. And like that's kind of how it would be with team play, except it would have to be just something on the side. Like it can't be a major tournament. You can't.
That'd be kind of cool though, as like if you were going down there as a part of like the top 8 or top just in 24.
And I'd be all for like a team play on the side kind of thing. But if that is
series.
what's happening, you take over the club series, something like that, or it's not the main tournament. It's like cool, that's fine. I just don't want it to be put in the game because I don't want people getting any ideas.
All right, moving on. All right, I'm going to need a yes or no answer for you on this one. Is Madden patched frequently enough, Matt?
Yes and no. I'm.
Oh man, sitting on the fence.
Like,
all right,
go on. It depends on like. Right now, yes, there's an issue, but the game isn't broken right now.
Okay.
There are things that need to be fixed, but.
Yeah.
Yes, it's.
I want to say no. I don't think Madden needs a patch right now.
You don't?
I don't think. I
don't
don't think
know.
a fix.
My question was, is Madden patched frequently enough?
Oh,
So
it's
your
patched
answer to
frequently.
that
Okay. I think it's patched frequently enough. I think they probably overdo it, but yes, is my
Really?
answer.
Really?
Overdo patches?
There's only like 3
Well,
patches.
I think it's the tuning updates that probably comes down, because the patches, I really don't know like what they be doing with the patches most of the time, but the tuning updates that's what gets me mostly, because they don't tell us what they do. So like, why is everybody catching everything in traffic now?
No, I don't know what happened this time because there wasn't supposed to be anything that changed. So I don't know this time. I have no good argument for whatever had just happened. But
like,
I mean,
the catching in traffic's out of control. I got Tyreek Hill out here making crazy catches in traffic. Like, oh, he never did this before.
Yeah, game is wild right now. I got no explanation. But like the patches,
Are
the
fumbles
full-on
up
patches,
for you guys?
I mean, I have no idea what's going on half the time in these games. I really have aggressive catches. I got quarterbacks jumping 50 feet in the air. I have no idea what's going on. We got UFOs in some games. I got no clue.
Sasquatch
Guys laying on the
field.
ground.
Man.
I saw somebody laying on the ground the other day, just on his back. Then I saw another guy who got a deep tackle speed glitch. Like, I don't know what's going on.
I have no idea what's going on in this small update. They fixed the field goal block and everything went nuts. I don't know, but hopefully a lot of this is fixed in the upcoming update.
It's been an issue all year, but have you guys seen the teleport glitch?
Yeah, that
When
actually
you're in one
cost me.
spot, then all of a sudden you're in another spot. Yeah.
Yeah, that's I don't know how that happens. But again, like
so
that's
whoever masters that teleport glitch for the next tournament, I think they're the odds-on favorite.
if you can do that on purpose,
Yeah.
it's gonna go nuts.
That'd
It's
be
gonna
sweet.
look insane. Like I hate it now, thinking like if this is the thing, that's gonna suck. But like as somebody who just like enjoys like just thinking of theoretics, like that looks awesome in my head.
The
Like
Nightcrawler
seeing somebody
out
get
there.
a pick, like somebody tries to throw to a quick out route, and they just teleport to it. That just looks sick in my head. But I would be so mad if I had thrown that pick.
That would be awesome. Yeah, friggin' Nightcrawler out there jumping. Anyways, all right, one more. I guess we got 3 more things. People dashboarding for the club series. It's a big issue. Are they going to hand out permanent bans, Matt?
I mean, it's taken a while to get the email, so maybe. But I mean, I don't.
Can you tell people what happens with dashboarding and what it is?
Essentially, is when you match up with somebody, after a few seconds, you could check your recent players, and you could close the app, and you don't get a loss. That's essentially what dashboarding is. So like, the problem is people are seeing they match up with somebody good near the end of the event, and they're just not playing the game. They're just trying to play players that are worse, so they don't risk anything. This is essentially what's happening.
Yeah.
Interesting. Or what another thing people are trying to do is they're trying to match up at the same time and like give people free wins because they're either not going to make it or they're not of age. So like they're just dashboarding until they get matched up with the person they're playing with, and that's also
the dumbest one. My buddy Royven, who's a mod on the Mut subreddit, he got into games. You know how was it last year in Madden 16? If you put in, you had extra tickets, and if you wanted a salary cap and you quit out, you got like a free pack or something, or you were able to get in and quit in salary cap without tickets. And so he was doing that, and he kept getting matched against the same guy. Like 3 times in a row, he matched against the same guy and quit for free packs. And they ended up banning his account because they thought he was win trading with the guy. And it was just the sucks. What sucks for the other guy is that he wasn't doing anything wrong, and he still got banned by EA.
Yeah, I mean
they thought he was in it.
I wish they were kind of that strict this time, but I don't know. There's no good.
They know they can see it though.
Yeah, they can. But I think they were trying to like give benefit of the doubt, and then like
that's the problem. That's the problem with being so close with the competitive community. I was talking about that earlier. You don't give benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I just think like I don't think that's the same issue. I think it's that more so that they don't want like. I don't think they like especially last season. I don't think it was as bad, but like this season, it's been kind of ridiculous. Like the
Texas, what do you think
kind of happened is
Texas, what do you think about dashboarding for games?
Is that an Xbox thing as well, or is that just on PS4?
I'm pretty sure it's an Xbox thing.
Yeah, I think it's Xbox too.
Actually, I have gotten into some games where a guy immediately leaves.
Actually, it is a thing on Xbox. I know it is.
Okay. I have no clue.
Going back to
my only thing about it as a player, at least it doesn't give me the loss anymore. Before I used to do some shit like that. I don't think it should. I mean, I don't know how they gonna stop that and prove somebody did dashboard though. Are they dashboarding before the game starts or mid game? Like does it like how
before the game?
Before the game?
Yeah,
so I don't
they
think
said
they can punish
wanted
a player
to try. They've said they're trying. They've been trying to find something, and they just don't have a good answer yet.
Okay, yeah, I don't think they can really punish anybody for leaving before the game starts. I know it's kind of they got rid of the top 3 for that reason.
They want to be able to ban people. Like, but they're trying to put it in a way where you can't just quit the game before it starts.
I don't think it's that. I don't know because like
I can say it's a problem.
Yeah, you know more about that than I would. I don't see the big deal in it, but then again, there's somebody who's not good enough to match with somebody better than them.
Because they're dashboarded and they don't want to play anybody good at the end, but you didn't get in because you didn't dashboard and you might have lost the game near the end. How, like, you know what I
can
mean?
see how that would go, but how would you prove that they dashboard? That's the thing about it. I don't know.
EA has those stats. As the company, they have the stats. They can check.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess if it's an issue with if the competitor players don't want it, I guess they can probably go ahead without it. But me not playing competitively, it's not a big deal to me. But if it's a big deal to you, I guess I should care about it because it affects you directly.
Yeah, it's one of those things that, like in regular mode, it's not a problem, but like they should ban people for essentially cheating, is what it is.
Yeah, I can understand the dashboarding and matching with somebody a friend of theirs to help boost, but yeah, just in general, ban them for
if they don't ban for it, Matt, would you come out and do it?
Nah, probably not. I think I'm gonna. The way I see it, I'm planning on winning every single game I play. So if I play somebody good, that means I'm just gonna get more juice, is what it's called. So
nice.
That's how you get like higher up in the ranks faster. So
yeah,
I don't really see myself losing. So I don't.
It's a good attitude. All right, Super Bowl. So. The Super Bowl just happened. We're done with our Mut talk, I think. One shenanigans, and then we'll end the pod. Texas, you said the game was going to end in a tie, and you were right. How do you feel?
I'm ecstatic about it because I was validated about like how bad that Falcons defense was, and how
I don't know about that.
They weren't that great. They were good early, but
hold up,
they weren't that great. Their defense in this entire year, they were all injured. Though it's not their fault. Their best cornerback was out. And then some linebackers they were out as well, but they were on the field early. They're getting to Brady, pressuring him like my man Bengals said they would. How did Grady Jarrett have a career year in like one game? He had 3 sacks the entire season.
Well, it is his rookie season, so that's probably why.
I know, well, like he had a career. He basically matched what he did in the regular season in one game because Shaq Mason wasn't really.
Yeah, I mean,
but
their
then they got
defense.
tired
The problem was
how the defense.
they changed their defense. They didn't play the same defense in the second half. What they ran in the first half, they ran a whole lot of like a double A gap look that you see in a.
Actually, no. Apparently, according to Key and Fahey, they didn't blitz at all in the first half.
No, they didn't blitz, but the thing is, they sent 4, but they sent a different 4. It was a lot of twists. There was a lot of like send one, drop one. They had a flat look on defense in the first half that they didn't have in the second half. And it was a whole lot of like man press from what I saw, and like out of that flat look and like sending different pressure from different angles that you just didn't see in that second half. In the second half, they played a whole lot more conservative. They didn't run that same look. They went 4 down linemen. They came out of the nickel or dime.
They were also tired too. On top of this, so they really couldn't do much.
Oh yeah, I mean that's there too, but like I don't think it's the defense's fault whether they lost that game.
Well, no, they didn't lose the game because their defense, but the defense was not good enough to win them the championship. Their offense had to be great. The defense got a pick 6, and they did drop a couple picks as well. But Robert Alford's a terrible cornerback, and he was a terrible cornerback going into the Super Bowl. He got a pick out of it in a touchdown, but he's not a highly rated cornerback according to PFF. And then everybody else is a bunch of nameless, faceless dudes.
Yeah, I mean,
they
that game
lost because
was
their
on
offense.
Like their offense, you could say whatever they want about
Well,
the
the coaching staff.
Coaching
The
was
coaching
not
staff.
as good as it should have been in the second half, especially play calling wise. There was, I think everybody knows by now, the running game just fell all the way downhill, and nobody called. There was no calls to the runs, especially that last possession they had to get into field goal range. They decided we're just going to pass it. Then there was that hold that knocked them out. But like their offense just did not do anything in that second half besides that first possession where they scored. They couldn't. Yeah. They just didn't move the ball at all.
There's 5 runs in the second half, but yeah, I was right though because I said the Falcons D wasn't good, and they ended up getting 28 scored on them. It was 31 actually, wasn't it? Yeah. It was 34-28, right? 31
it was something like that.
Points.
I don't think their defense is bad at all though.
No, they weren't good at all. I mean, according to all the metrics, they weren't good at all. They just had a really good first half.
They're fast, is what they are. Though.
They're fast, and but like
Deion Jones is a freak.
They're not young. Plus, the Patriots receivers aren't that great. They're not a big play offense, so it's kind of like it's kind of hard to look at it like side by side. Julian Edelman's a quick, fast receiver, but that's pretty much the fastest guy they got out there. Michael Floyd didn't play. Bennett's a good player, but he's not fast. And same thing with Chris Hogan. It was basically like a dink and dunk offense going against a bunch of fast dudes.
Yeah.
And James White went out there and ate because he was the only guy that basically created separation on most of his routes.
Yeah, I don't think the defense is bad. In fact, I really think the defense is good. But I think
next year they're gonna be good next year when they get these guys back.
Oh yeah, sure. I think
when they get all those guys back.
Defensively, it came down to coaching is why they lost the game on defense. I think on offense they just didn't execute in the second half.
Well, yeah, and not running the ball.
Not running the ball, obviously. Like even with not running the ball, like. They didn't do anything past, like, besides that first possession, and if you want to consider that last possession a good possession, like, they just didn't move the ball at all. They couldn't, like, they gave the Patriots, like, 4 possessions to score in the second half, which you can't do as an offensive or defense.
You know, the Patriots offense ran, 93 plays? I think that's the most plays ran in the postseason history. Like, they just got so many more plays than the defense did.
Yeah, and that's the offense
did, yeah. So... I still believe the defense not being that good, though. I think that it was just a route early, and then everything caught up to them at the end.
From what I saw, they weren't playing the same defense in the second half.
Any defense that loses to the Buccaneers is a terrible defense. So, and they lost to the Buccaneers this season.
Nice,
so
yeah.
Facts.
Yeah. All right. Well, Matt, Texas. Anything else, or should we wrap this bad boy up?
Well, there's only like 30 minutes.
Texas, is your dog dying, Texas?
It's the puppy. I don't know what she's doing. She might be on the floor. Let me go check and see what's going on.
All right, well, he's checking, Matt. Anything else?
If you think about it, the Falcons really won that game. They skunked them. They just felt there was some pity in there, so they let the Patriots technically win.
Oh, really? The technical win? Huh?
Yeah, but like they mercy ruled them. I don't know what everybody else talking about. They won that game.
Oh, I got you. The up 21 skunk.
Yeah, they skunked them.
I see. Yeah, if only real life were like Madden, huh?
Yeah, they lost because of the politics.
EA was politics. Are you a Falcons fan?
I'm just saying.
That was weird.
You saw the Falcons owners on the field after they won the game. You know, just saying.
Oh yeah, he always goes down there at the near the end of games.
That guy looks like he has a haunted house that he lives in.
And he does the haunting. Arthur Blank, yeah.
Arthur Blake, yeah.
He's like the guy in Haunted Mansion.
Basically,
Really
yes.
ghost all along.
Old Man Jenkins all along. Scooby Doo or something.
On the Levitard show, they said that he looks like a guy that has for a table a coffin with a sheet over it. That's what he looks like. So, yeah, I kind of feel bad for the guy though. Even though I'm laughing at Falcons fans for blowing the 25-point lead, I do like he might have a heart attack.
Yeah,
The year of the
that would
blown
have been
leads.
brutal to be a fan. I wanted the
It
Falcons
was
to
brutal
win.
for me, and I wasn't a fan. So I could only imagine. Man.
Yeah, it's just too bad. But all right, hey Matt, thanks for being on the pod, man.
Yep.
Yeah, so have a good time. Are you in the club series?
Yeah, I'm in the Jacksonville tournament.
Nice. Best of luck in that. When's that start up for you?
That is March 4th. I'm pretty sure that's gonna be streamed. I think it's on TV, but I don't really know. I don't have that information on me. It'll probably explain in the email, but I haven't gotten that yet, so I can't really explain much more there. Just know it's March 4th, so excited for that.
Cool. Very cool. Yeah. Good luck in Texas. Once again, another great week. Thanks for hanging.
Yep, you might want to edit this part out because the dog's back there just like being loud. So
Oh, no, it's fine. That's just part of the ambiance.
Gotcha. We'll get them next week. Hopefully, it won't be this loud. I bought a bottle. My dog's not feeding him. So, but yeah, good episode, man. Good episode. Really enjoyed talking, and we talked for it's about an hour and a half. So that's pretty good. People will love it.
Yeah, it was a long one.
Yeah,
all right.
Also, I'm gonna be at the EA event in what do you call it? Burbank. I'm gonna go out there.
Oh, really?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if you're out there, man, come say hi.
All right. I mean, it's from if it's anything like Orlando, I mean, I'll be over in the place where every player is. I don't know.
All right, I'm gonna sneak in though because they don't like me. But we'll figure out how to get in the building.
Yeah. All right. Take it easy, dudes.
Yep.
Yeah.